Good afternoon, this is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Monday, September 16th, 2013. And this is brought to you by Triton Wave Consulting, which is the home of the Triton Waves. The Triton Waves are early warning market timing indicators used in all time frames in all markets worldwide. Before I start, I want to express my condolences to all the members of the naval shipyard that lost their lives this morning to the horrific catastrophe that happened with that shooter. I am doing this on Monday afternoon, actually after the close, but this will hold for the whole week. This is a look at the last. I'm looking at the ES on a continuous chart. You can see right up here that we closed in on a high. We opened up 15 or almost 20 points overnight on Sunday on the news that Larry Summers was the hawkish candidate for the Fed job is now out, and the prime candidate is Janet Yellen, who's more dovish on Fed policy going forward. So apparently the market liked it, and they sent it up. They sent up gold prices $25 right at the outset at 5 p.m. Sunday. So the market basically does not like indecision, and they don't like chaos. And they didn't like the fact that Larry Summers, who supposedly this was factored into the market, but he squashed in I think it was like in the 90s, 1999, 1998. He testified before a Senate hearing and explicitly said that Wall Street could be trusted to police itself, and they did not need the trillion-dollar derivative market to fall under the auspices of the Federal Trade Commission. So, and also it led to, he also fought against the Glass-Steagall Act of the repeal of it that led banking of private funds to be used for investment. So Wall Street really didn't care for him, and that's why they got a bump of 20 points on the S&P on Friday night, on Sunday night. So basically, we're back to where we were before. This is what we're seeing in the market now. Is not a value game that has to do with how much money or how much profit companies are making. It's a pricing game and a momentum game. So, for instance, just one small example is that Tesla is now now has the revenues of an auto company, but because of the monetary game and the pricing game, it has the margins of a tech company, and that's how a lot of these things are being priced out. But the waves, the Triton waves, are saying something completely different. This is. Let me get an arrow in here. Right in here, you see high, higher high, and now a matching high. Okay, the first high is here. The second high is barely above zero, and now we're way under zero on this matching high right up here. So I don't like it. This line is going all the way back up to May, so it's significant that this is dropping off, and also T2 has now gone below zero, and this is very, very significant moving forward. Joe Granville once said, he was the one made all these fantastic predictions in the 70s and 80s that actually moved markets. He created on balance volume, that said lighter volume at the top lower leads to lower prices, and lower volume at the bottom leads to higher prices. And it's a standardized method of on balance volume that people have in their system to use at will, as they wish. It happens. Joe said that somebody has to. The bag holders are the ones that buy at the top. So I think there's going to be a lot of unleashing of a lot of these positions, and Apple is definitely leading the way. It's down 3% today. It was down 3 or 4% last week. Sad to say, I just looked up Joe to see if he was how old he was, and sadly, he passed away last week. He was 90 years old, and I had the opportunity to see him at the Prudential Center in Boston one time at a lecture, and he was as comical as he was entertaining. Wasn't always right. I mean, he had a terrible track record, but he was right for about 2 years. All right, let's take a look at Apple and see actually what Apple did, and see if there were any indications on the Triton waves that led you to the belief that it was going down. So sometimes T1 works out pretty well. Sometimes it's a little short, because right here it's kind of tricky. But look at these crossovers right here, and you just got to know when it's going to work and when it's not going to work. But you can go to, and it was much smoother on T2. So let's look at T2 down here and look at these crossovers and look at where we are. So T2 right here is an association with that move, and that peak, and it takes you all the way down to here. On this move, this takes you up here, probably like 10-15 points. On this move, this is kind of like a sideways to slightly up. And on this move, which happened the day before yesterday, or on Friday, it takes you down here, and you're still in on the downside. It's actually down another 2 points in the aftermarket session on Monday. Let's take a look at gold. This is the continuous contract of gold. It's the electronic. It's actually the electronic session only, not the cash and electronic. I find that the electronic. So here we are. Let me see here. This is a move. This is also, you know, there's only like 5 or 6 or 7 hash marks a day. It's a 144 24-hour chart. This goes above 0, clears this EMA, comes below, goes up and hits right almost exactly here at 12:20. I think this was 12:32 when it hits. Right now 12:24. Bounces off here, bounces off this EMA, comes down to this one, and then breaks through. We caught a little piece of that, and let me expand this a little bit. And right now, we're about to open okay, the night session is already open. It's 13:11. I'm looking at gold right here, and I'm just looking for a good place to get in. Maybe it'll bounce up here a little bit. We'll look at it on a smaller chart, or maybe it'll just go sideways. But once it starts breaking this air, whoops, do that again. Once it starts breaking down this area right here, then these are the new test lines here. Not Tesla, but test lines. And there's a really good chance that I'm expecting at some point it may go up, but right now it's still drifting down. We got a major cross right here with the EMAs. We've got T1, T2, T3, T4, all below 0. Let's take a look and see what the daily is doing. Okay, on the daily, on gold, we have the same blip up here. that we have now, and this was back in August of July, August of last year, when we had this peak here, and it looks like it's peaking out here. And while this was going on back in August of last year, T4 and T5 was below zero. Now it's even deeper below zero. So this is just an opportunity on the daily. When this starts peaking out and then going down slightly, this is a time to look for a place to get in. So I'm looking for this to test this EMA at 1256. Now, again, I'm just looking for a place to get in. So if we look at the let me see, 15. Let's see if we can get some. That's not a good one. Let's go to the 987. All right. So ideally, 987 T1 and T2 can get you a little bit messed up here. So let's look at a smoother one here. This is actually a nice one right here. T3 gets you in right here, and so if you get in here, you want to get out when T1. Whoops, hang on one second. My computer's freezing a little bit. When T2, when T1 goes above zero, that's where you want to cover. If you're playing this down. So, and as long as you use this as an anchor, this T3, T4, and T5 here on the 987, then you can play all these down here. You can play this down here. This goes above zero, so you want to stay out of this area. Goes above zero, stay out here. When this goes below, or starts going below, and actually on the smaller time frames, hang on one second. Okay, so on the smaller time frames, we're moving up here, down here, up here, down, down, up, up, down, down. So right now we're having a blip. It's 13:11:80, and it is 5 p.m. 10 minutes past 5 Central Time on Monday, the 16th. So I'm looking for an entry here as soon as the smaller waves turn down. Let me see. I can tell you. Let's look at the 144, which is a good place to get in. Okay, so the 144 just went above zero, and it looks like T2 wants to go above zero a little bit. So when this plays out, and it looks something like this, right here, over in this area, then that's when I am going to resume playing gold to the downside. That's all I have. Hope you have a good evening, and I will see you at the next update. Again, this is brought to you by Triton Wave Consulting. If you want to be a part of this team, just shoot me an email at tritonwaveguy@gmail.com. I am Rodney Julian, and I have a good evening and good luck trading.